This month we've been treated to not one but two films which explore the idea of a multiverse. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is directed by Sam Raimi, a director mostly known for horror, whose last film was about the Wizard of Oz. And Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is written and directed by the duo known as Daniels, whose last film featured a farting corpse speedboat. So we're already in a very weird place. But which of these multiverse films is better?
There's only one way to find out. Okay.
So to Doctor Strange first, who with the help of mystical allies, both old and new, traverses the mind-bending and dangerous alternate realities of the multiverse to confront a mysterious new adversary. And Marvel's Phase 4 continues to slightly underwhelm me. This was fine. My main issue with this film can be summed up in considering how expansive its setting is, how big the ideas are, how epic it all feels in scale, but how little it really excited, thrilled, amused or scared me. A lot was made about the horror aspects of this film and how this is the MCU's first dabbling with that genre, and yeah, I suppose so, but I didn't see much more horror here than there was in Age of Ultron, for example.
Scream and your entire staff dies.
The film suffers from tons of Deus Ex Machinas where magic can cause and then solve every single moment of drama, including where a character can just make a flamethrower cannon from a bowl they happen to be standing next to. There's also a ton of exposition, which got a little tiresome at times. Other issues I have are America Chavez being a pretty thin and bland character, with merest hints of what might have been a rewarding story arc completely snuffed out by the end, including a pretty major story element which is bafflingly ignored. I also hope for more for Wanda too, considering her story is really just the same as that from WandaVision. It's almost a retcon of that entire series, and we don't find Wanda in the interesting place she was left in at that show's conclusion. What I really enjoyed was all the little Sam Raimi moments, and I wish there had been more and he was allowed to go a little further. The film works so much better when it's a Raimi film and not an MCU film, but sadly it's pretty much only 20% the former, and I loved all those nods to Evil Dead. It was also great to have some meaningful cameos in an MCU property, rather than just showing the hand of Carrot Man from a comic from 1976. These cameos had some purpose to the story, and they provided some of the best moments of the film. Overall, it's another fairly middling entry into the MCU, which had the chance to really go there, but just didn't dare. My score for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is 6 out of 10.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us?
I am paying attention.
When the hype has built so much for a film that you sense there's a chance it could not only be your favourite film of the year, but an actual all-timer, I'm always very excited, but a little cautious. And although I liked a lot of Everything Everywhere All at Once and loved some of it, I don't think it's going to be challenging my top spot of 2022, and it isn't coming near my all-time favourites. But there is tons of good stuff here. Firstly, just that the film itself exists. A brave, bold and balls-to-the-wall original film, well, mostly original, the likes of which doesn't come along often enough. That EEAAO is even a thing should be celebrated. The cast are flawless, with Michelle Yeoh and Ke-Huy Quan both giving hugely likeable and layered performances. They also kick ass convincingly in the brilliantly shot action scenes. The editing is mesmerisingly good. This should easily win the editing Oscar, but I wonder if it's just too weird and frenetic for the Academy to acknowledge it. The ending hit home for me on a personal level, both as a person not quite finding a purpose in life and as a parent of a daughter going through some rough times. But this ending and its emotion raises my biggest issue with the film, the lack of cohesion in its story. Honestly speaking, I think I was a little overwhelmed by everything going on and how the film flitted from a sci-fi action to an existential exploration to a drama about how life is hard but we can all get through the shit stuff together. I found this to be very messy at times and would have preferred a straighter story to accompany the other general madness. It really does feel like
a little bit of everything all of the time.
The emotional ending only had a quarter of the punch it could have had if it hadn't felt so rushed and crammed in at the last minute. But I do have the sense and the hope that the film will go up in my estimation on a rewatch. It's a film which practically begs you to watch it again, and perhaps it will climb higher on my 2022 list. But for now, my score for Everything Everywhere All at Once is 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching.
Game over, man. It's game over.